My mom and my dad taught me that there is one God, Allah, and that God was, this version of God, this precise description of God was given by a man named Muhammad. Now Muhammad came 600 years after Jesus, and he came 600 years away from Jesus. So Muhammad is in Arabia, 7th century AD, and he preaches monotheism. Now that's a big deal, because at that time in Arabia, in Mecca, which was where Muhammad was preaching, polytheism was the source of commerce. Let me explain that to you. There in Mecca, there was a place called the Kaaba, and there were 360 gods around the Kaaba, idols around the Kaaba. People came from all over Arabia to worship at the Kaaba, and they would bring their materials with them. They'd bring their goods, and lots of trade would happen. And that was the economy of the city. And so for Muhammad to stand up in that milieu and say, no, there is one God, he faced a lot of potential oppression. The life of Jesus and the life of Muhammad are very important in these conversations, especially when it comes to the Quran. There's so much I wish I could tell you, but basically, here's what I began to realize, that there are plenty of peaceful verses in the Quran and in the traditions of Muhammad's life, and there are plenty of violent verses and stories, tons. How do you reconcile them? We in the West had been taught that the violent stuff should be seen as all defensive and coming under the lens of the peaceful stuff. The peaceful stuff is the stuff that prevails. So to sum it up, take a look at the slides here. Allah is God and Muhammad is his messenger. Performing the 5 pillars pleases Allah, and if we are good Muslims, we will go to heaven. That's basic Islamic belief. But is it true? That's what really, really matters to Muslims and to Christians. If you're able to go to a Muslim and say to him, Muhammad never existed. Now, by the way, Muhammad certainly existed. But if you're able to prove to a Muslim Muhammad never existed, that Muslim would stop being Muslim because his message is false. He believes that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. Same thing with the Quran. If you can prove to a Muslim the Quran was never revealed by God, then that Muslim would have to leave Islam because it's not true. And we have something analogous in Christianity, do we not? If Christ is not risen, our faith is in vain, and we are most of all to be pitied.